Hey y'all, welcome to KGD Creative by Kim Dixon. I'm Kim and I'm so happy you stopped by my channel today. Today I'm working with a paper pack from Photoplay called Tulla and Norbert's Sweet as Honey. The very minute I saw this paper pack I fell in love and had to have it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd love it if you did. Hit that little bell icon so that you can be notified each time I upload a new video. Now let's get into the card. Okay, for today's card I'm using Photoplay's Tulla and Norbert's Sweet as Honey 12x12 paper pack. Some type of heavy white cardstock for the card base and the ink blending panel. Maymay made it stamp set The Bee's Knees, distressed oxide ink in scattered straw and fossilized amber, VersaFine clear ink in golden meadow. I'm using a mini waffle flower water media mat, blending brushes. I'm using a hexagon punch, the We Are Memory Keepers layer guides, the Fiskars fingertip knife, paper trimmer, EK Tools craft tweezers, Barely Art precision craft glue, Scotch double-sided foam mounting tape, Elizabeth Craft clear double-sided adhesive tape, and twine. All of these things will be listed in the description box below with links when possible. Okay, I've taken a piece of Nina Solar White 110 pound cardstock and cut it down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm placing it on my mini waffle flower media mat, and I'm going to also take a blending brush and just blend in some circles, random circles on that panel using my fossilized amber Distress Oxide ink. Once I get those spots like I want them on the darker ink, the fossilized amber, I'm going to come back in with the scattered straw and fill in all of the open white areas. This is going to give quite a varied look. It's going to look like, to be honest, like a hot mess before you're done with it. But you need to remember that Distress Oxide inks will dry back and smooth out once they dry. And also, because I'm wanting to give this just kind of a hint of a honeycomb, I want it to be a little bit messy looking. I want some darker areas in places and lighter areas in places, but I don't want any white. Now you can set your panel aside and allow it to dry on its own, or you can be impatient like I am and take your heat tool and dry it with the heat tool. Just be careful and don't hold it on your paper too long, or it will cause your panel to warp. Now I'm taking Maymay made it stamp set, The Bee's Knees, taking the honeycomb portion, and I'm going to stamp just some random areas on our card panel with the VersaFine Golden Meadow ink. I'm going to stamp some off the corner of your paper, some on. It doesn't have to be straight. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is just to be a subtle background on your card mat. Okay, once my stamping is done, I'm going to go to the paper pack and pull out the wood grain piece, and I'm going to cut a piece that is 1 1/2 inches by 4 3/4 inch. Then I'm going to take the black polka dot paper and I'm going to cut a 1 by 1 1/2 inch strip. That's going to end up being a banner. I'm going to take my scissors, my Cutter Bee scissors, and just cut a little slit right up the middle, and then cut the flags on either side to give me a banner shape. Then I'm going to locate the honeycomb paper and take my hexagon punch and pop out a hexagon. I'm going to take some Barely Art precision craft glue and adhere down that hexagon paper onto the black polka dot paper. And because I want to have some nice even black frame showing there, I'm going to take my We Are Memory Keepers layer guides and cut 1/8 of an inch around the entire section of that hexagon. If you're good at eyeballing space, you can certainly use a pair of scissors and just eyeball cutting this around. I'm terrible at that, and so I really like using these layer guides, especially with that Fiskars finger blade. That makes it really, really easy. I've also located a sentiment on the sticker sheet that says just Bee-Cause, and I'm putting that on the black polka dot paper and going to cut around it 1/8 of an inch border around it, just like I did my hexagon. Again, I know these are straight cuts and would be so easy to be cut out with just a pair of scissors, but I'm really bad at eyeballing distance. I'm just not good at it at all. Now I'm going to take my panel and cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4 so that it will fit on the front of an A2 card base and have a white border around the edges. I'm going to glue that wood panel piece to the left side of that panel, about 1/8 of an inch down from the top and about 1/2 an inch in from the left side. And then I'm going to take the banner piece, the black polka dot banner piece, and pop it up on some Scotch double-sided foam mounting tape, and it will adhere to the card. It will go to the very top of that card mat but be centered along that wood panel piece. Now I've got a piece of twine. It's about 12 inches, and I'm going to glue one end of it to the back of our card base. It's going to be down toward the bottom third of the card base, or the card mat rather, I'm sorry. Just fiddling with it to get it to stick. And then I'm going to wrap it around my card mat 3 times and adhere it to the back of the card just as I adhered the beginning. So the ending and the beginning will go be glued down to the back. You can use tape here. I just didn't have any on my desk. I'm in the midst of organizing my craft room, and I could not find my tape, so I just glued it. Now I am taking my hexagon piece that's been layered on top of the black polka dot, and I've located a sticker that I like from the sticker sheet, and I'm going to adhere it down to the hexagon. Now to take the sticky off the pieces that hang over, I'm just using my embossing buddy and putting a little bit of the embossing powder on there so that it loses its sticky. I'm going to pop this up onto the card panel with some foam tape, and you see I'm going to kind of leave a channel there in the middle so that the twine has a place to go through, and that will help keep the layers, the amount of layers down. It'll minimize the amount of layers that are on the card, because as you all know, I'm going to pop something up on a card, but I don't want to pop it up too much. I'm going to get my little gnome stuck down there. And now it's time to glue down the sentiment. I'm just going to glue it straight to the card. I'm using my tweezers to get it, decide where I want it to go, and I think I want it up toward the top. So now I'm going to adhere my card panel to my A2 top folding card base. And again, I'm going to pop that up on foam tape, and I'm going to avoid the area with the twine. Now this card is going to be fairly thick. It ultimately has 2 different layers of foam tape, but I'm always willing to pay the extra postage for a good dimensionalized card. Once we get that once we get that card mat glued on, I'm going to open the card base and take our stamp set our honeycomb stamp that we used, and our Golden Meadow ink, and just pop a little color down in the bottom corner of our card, just to pull a little something from the front to the inside. Now you all know I like to decorate an envelope, so I'm going to take some of the wood grain paper and some double-sided sticky tape, and I'm going to adhere some of that wood grain paper to the flap of my envelope. I have a roll of the wider Elizabeth Craft double-sided sticky tape, and so it only took 2 pieces to cover the back flap of the envelope. And it's just as easy as it can be. All you do is put that sticky tape down and then adhere the wood grain paper to that envelope flap just beyond the fold of the envelope flap, and then just trim out with your scissors. And it brings a little bit of your card out to the envelope so that it matches, and it adds a little bit of cohesion for your project. I would like to thank you for stopping by my channel today. I hope you enjoyed this card. This card is part of Maymay Made It's Pictorial Design Team, where I, along with 5 other absolutely wonderful ladies, submit at least 2 projects a month over on Maymay's Instagram page. I'll place a link to that in the description box below. These ladies absolutely blow me away every month with their projects. They're absolutely stunning. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd love it if you would. And hit the little bell icon so that you can be notified each time I upload a new video. If you like this card, hit that like button and share it with your friends. Until next time, happy crafting and be sweet.